Hello and welcome to the in-depth series section of Drishti IAS. I am Aisha Singh, and in today's video we will be discussing about the topic that for the last 2 years has always been in news, and that is the Data Protection Bill. So the Lok Sabha has passed the Data Protection Bill and now it will go to the Rajya Sabha and it will depend there whether they will pass it or not. So first of all, about the timeline. First of all, what is the news? Then about the Data Protection Bill, what are the concerns related to it? What are the reliefs measures that has been given in the bill? In the end, prelims MCQ and mains practice question. This topic is of relevance from General Studies paper 2, that is government policies or bills. Important from both prelims and mains, as from the exam perspective you should be able to know what are the features of this bill. And it has been taken from the Indian Express, and this says Data Protection Bill passed in Lok Sabha. What it says about privacy, centers powers right to information. So what has happened is that the data protection law, there are 2-3 points in the data protection law which always remains in the news. First is the localization, and then it's about the protection. And the concerns that we talk about are majorly right to privacy under Article 21 and right to information. So what happens is, Data Protection Bill, as the name itself is suggesting that the data needs to be protected. The data which is generated, it needs to be protected in our own country. It is not that the data which is generating it in our country is going out and then it is getting stored in the outside country. No, that should not be the case. Data localization should be done. It means that if the data is getting generated in our own country, then data should be stored in our own country. As the famous saying says, that data is becoming so important that the fourth world war would happen for data. This is what is getting said also, because it is becoming so important, and the data which is generating is huge in size. So a law needs to be made so that it gets the legal backing. And then comes the protection. That is that the data which is getting generated, it also needs to be protected. So first of all, the data which is generated needs to be kept in our own country, and the data which is generated, it also needs to be protected and kept in our own country, and so that the right to privacy, which is also a fundamental right under Article 21, that the right to privacy of the person, it does not get affected. And also there is a point which is coming up, and that is that if the Data Protection Bill gets passed away, then it might hamper the Right to Information Act, because the Data Protection Bill will also have all the data regarding to the government and related aspects, while the same function is done by the Right to Information, that whatever information is asked for, they give that information. So basic thing about the Data Protection Bill is that the data needs to be protected in our country, data needs to be kept in our country, and data should not be going out, and the right to privacy of a person should be maintained. If we talk about in a layman's language, then this is what does the Data Protection Bill talks about. So what has happened recently is the Digital Personal Data Protection Bill 2023 was passed in the Lok Sabha, and this bill has been in news since last 2 to 3 years, and many a times we have seen that something or the other keeps on getting amended in this bill. Something or the other keeps on changing. So what has happened is that the bill has retained the content of the original version of the legislation. So the legislation which was prepared in the first draft, it has maintained many of the features as it is. Then the proposed law has also accorded virtual censorship powers to the center. So the law which has been passed in the Lok Sabha, this Data Protection Bill also gives certain power to the center, and the bill will have to be passed by the Rajya Sabha. As it has been passed in the Lok Sabha, now it goes to the Rajya Sabha. So let's talk about the concerns, which is the major part which has been talked about in the recent bill that has been passed, because data protection bill and the discussion regarding the data protection bill, we have done it many a times. So today we will be talking about the major aspects that has been discussed in this bill, which is regarding to the concerns and the good points that the bill gives. So first of all, about the concerns, then the central government will have the right to exempt any instrumentality of the state. So the central government will have the right to exempt. It means the central government will have the power that they can decide what to leave and what to take. That is, in case of adverse consequences, for example, national security, relations with foreign government and maintenance of public order, etc. In all these cases, what the central government will have, they will have the right to exempt. It means if there is a scene related to the public order or the national security, then the central government will become powerful to decide that what can go and what can be stopped. So the central government will have power in this respect. And if an entity is penalized on more than 2 instances, like for example, for the very first time, if an entity has committed any offense, then if for the second time also the entity committed any offense, then the central government, after hearing the entity, can decide to block their platform. So if one entity commits offense for the second time, it means if any entity commits offense 2 times, then after second time, the central government can hear the views of the entity, and if found guilty, then they can block their platform in the country. It means, for example, in India, if there is any entity which does not follow the rules and does commit the offense for 2 times, then the platform can be blocked in India. Then the highest prescribed penalty has been kept at rupees 250 crores. So the highest penalty, it means below 250 crores any amount can be done, but the highest amount or the highest penalty that can be kept is rupees 250 crores for not having enough safeguards against data breaches. So highest penalty is rupees 250 crores. Then law could dilute the Right to Information Act. Now this is the point which comes, that Right to Information Act can be diluted if the data protection bill gets passed away. This is the concern which has been generated, because the personal data of government functionaries is likely to be protected under it. Now, what is the role of the right to information? So, under the right to information, what do we do? Under the right to information, all the normal individuals or the citizens of India, they have the right to ask question and they will receive the answer with relation or with regard to the public offices. Now, if the public offices, the personal data of the government functionaries or the public offices will come under the data protection bill, then what will happen? Then both the right to information and the data protection bill, they will have same points, and on the same points they both will be working, and that is why it is saying that law will dilute. It is not saying that it will diminish, it will dilute. It means that the importance or the significance might get lessened. Then the control of the center in appointing members of the data protection board is retained. So there will be a data protection board which will be formed, and the right to appoint the members is in the hand of the central government. So the control of the center in appointing the members. So the members of the data protection board will be appointed by the center. And what is data protection board? It is an adjudicatory body that will deal with privacy related grievances and disputes between two parties. So if there is any kind of issue arises between two parties, then which is the entity who is responsible for solving the problem or which is responsible for looking after the problem? Then it will be the data protection board. And privacy related grievances will also be coming under the data protection board. And then there will be a chief executive of the board which will be appointed by the central government. So the chief executive will also be heading the Data Protection Board, and this chief executive will also be appointed by the central government. So if you will see that in the bill, it is saying that the central government becomes very powerful, because appointment of the members of the Data Protection Board is what central government will see. Then the chief executive of the board will also be appointed by the central government. Central government will see the cases in which they can exempt the law or not. So the central government becomes really powerful. Then the private company has been afforded the privilege to deal with employment related matters, including corporate espionage. So the private companies are also getting a say in the bill. So it is saying that the matters related to corporate espionage or the employment related matters, the private companies or the corporates will have the say to handle it themselves. So the bill is also raising the radar for the private companies. Now let's talk about the relief for industry. What good the bill talks about for the industry. So the bill addressed two key long-standing demands of the industry. So there were two demands which the industry was raising since a very long period of time, and the drafts which were presented before the bill which has been passed by the Lok Sabha, the drafts also contained these two demands. And these demands are, first is allowing relaxation around the age of consent for children. So the age of consent for children, so this has been fulfilled. And then easing cross-border data flows. So age of consent for children and easing cross-border data flows. That means that the flow of data with regard to the business purposes between international borders needs to be eased. So these two has been agreed on. And the government's objective has been to balance privacy and innovation, because privacy is also a concern, that if any individual, all the data of the individual is getting stored somewhere, and if for example the data gets leaked out, then how the privacy of the person would be maintained, because the data will contain very sensitive information also. It will contain almost all the information regarding the individual, be it personal information, financial information, professional information, etc. So how that privacy breach can be maintained or can be regulated. So what happens is the government's objective has been to balance privacy and innovation. So even though we innovate in a way, but that innovations should not hamper privacy of a person. Now coming back to the two long-standing demands. So first is allowing relaxation around the age of consent for children. So the bill has prescribed a lower age of consent than 18 years. So till now the age of consent for children was prescribed to be 18 years. But the data protection bill which has been passed in the Lok Sabha, it talks about or it prescribes a lower age of consent, that is below 18, like you can say like till 16 or something. Then for accessing internet services without parental consent, if the platform they are using can process their data in a verifiable, safe manner. So if the data which the children are using, if that data can be safe and in a verified manner, then the age of consent can be lowered from 18 years. Now second point, that is ease cross-border data flows to international jurisdiction. And that easing cross-border data flows is important from the economic perspective especially. Because when two countries, for example, having a bilateral relations and good bilateral relations, then imagine those two countries, if they want to trade with each other and if they want to establish a economic partnership with each other, and if they are not willing to share data, then how the things will be done. And that sharing of data will also have certain terms and conditions that the government will look into, but that easing of cross-border data has been made. Measure to ensure business continuity and accept blacklisting countries. So what would be done is, and what has already been done is, that India overall shares good relations with many countries, and there are few countries, what will happen is, like there would be one would be white listing of countries. and second would be blacklisted countries. So the white listed countries, there won't be any problem, and India will do the business as it is, and the data can be shared. But the blacklisted countries, whatever countries would be blacklisted from India's perspective, with those countries we will not be sharing data under the data protection bill. So the blacklisting countries we will not be sharing data, whitelisting countries we will be sharing data. Then the government could notify entities as significant data fiduciaries, and these significant data fiduciaries are the entities which are very huge in size, and they are the entities which has a lot of data all over the world. Like for example, social media platforms like Facebook, YouTube and WhatsApp. So these social media giants, they have subscribers in billions. Billions of people are using their platform. It means they have data of billions of people, and they on daily basis are using these platforms to communicate with each other. So these big significant data fiduciaries, they will be notified entities, and required to appoint a data protection officer for grievance redressal. So a data protection officer will also be appointed under the bill for grievance redressal. If there would be any kind of grievance, to redress those grievance, a data protection officer will be appointed, and carry out periodic data protection impact assessments. Periodic data protection impact assessment is important, so that after a particular period of time, the person would come to know that what is happening, and if whatever the system is working on is working in an updated manner. Then apply to processing of digital personal data within India and to data processing outside the country. So the processing of data within India, it will happen, but outside the country also it will happen, the processing of the data. It means that whenever the country would be in good terms with other country like the whitelisting countries, and if there are having business conversations and business relations, then the processing of digital personal data within India and outside the country can also take place. So this was about the concerns and the relief which are provided under the data protection bill. In the end, the prelims MCQ, and you people need to tell me the answer in the comment section. This was asked in the year 2021, and the question says, right to privacy is protected under which article of Constitution of India? Article 15, Article 19, Article 21, Article 29. Very easy question, because many a times this has been asked, and you should know that questions related to polity, a question from the fundamental rights, duties or the directive principles has been asked on these lines, and it is constantly being asked on this line. So try to solve the answer and give me the answer in the comment section. And that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Till we meet next time, keep reading and keep writing.